This week on the Spotlight, Derek Rose tells me some of the things that went wrong in this tragic, bizarre Bulls season. Robin Ventura, a happy man. The White Sox off to a solid start. And Coach Fred Hoiberg. I ask him the questions everybody wants to ask, and he answers them. And the newest White Sox, the 25th man, Jerry Sands, he's ready to play this week. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. Welcome to the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. They do it all at 108th and Kedzie. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. You've got to get to the Cove for Benkowski Trivia, Wednesday, April 20th at 8 p.m. Great people, great game, easy to reach, 1750 East 55th Street, the last bar before the lake. I'll see you at the Cove. Family Dentist, Lawrence Ferlin, he is the dentist, 109th and Kedzie, crowns, veneers, cleanings, and more. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Dr. Sherman Clay, chiropractor. Gentle adjusting. Most insurance accepted. Massage therapy, too. Walk-ins are welcome. Call 773-324-4325. That's HEAL. Dr. Sherman Clay. Calabria Imports has Italian foods and a great deli. You mention this TV ad, and you get a free Joe tea with a sandwich order. Conveniently located at 1905 West 103rd Street, Calabria Imports has great stuff. Check it out. I do all the time. You've got to get to Shelton Fireworks, the world's largest warehouse, off Interstate 94, exit 22B in Porter, Indiana. Row after row of the best fireworks anywhere, from the little ones to the grand finales that'll end your show. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, in addition to the 4th of July. Just get over there to Shelton Fireworks now. Then you can reload by the time summer comes. Shelton Fireworks, I-94, exit 22B in Portage. Well, it's a sad farewell to the Bulls' 2015-2016 season. The potential looked great. The young players were getting a lot of time. The team was in the top 4 in the conference and winning. And then it all went to crap. It's hard to pinpoint. So what I did the best I could do. I got Derek Rose, a rare one-on-one, and asked him all the questions that I thought you'd want me to ask. So here's me and Derek Rose trying to figure out this basketball season. We're back on the Spotlight, and Derek, it's been a very up and down roller coaster of a season. How do you put it in perspective at this stage of the game when you know that it would require a miracle to pull it out, and all that great effort is going to have you be watching the playoffs?
It's just taking our time, being patient while we're out there, and just playing hard all the games that we have left. We kind of put ourselves in this position. And as men, like I said before, we got to deal with it.
Do you think back to any individual games, maybe even home games, where you said, boy, a couple here, a couple there, that we kind of let go if we could have had those back, games that stick in your mind?
You can, but that's why I say as men, we put ourselves in this position. I felt like the only thing we could do now is play out these last 3 games, play as hard as we can, and see what happens.
With your improved health this year and the fact that you played in so many more games than you had in the previous couple, and it seemed like you were back doing your thing, does that give you an extra boost of confidence going into next season?
I believe so. I think this summer is a huge summer for me. Just got to go out here and play, put in a lot of work in the off season, be around my son, and just be at peace with myself.
In the scope of your team, the dynamic of your team, when you were down and you were injured, Jimmy kind of stepped up his game, improved his offensive game, and became kind of more of a threat. How is it going to be that where you can mesh your game with his better, so you could be two go-to guys playing at the same time?
It's just it takes time, learning the player, playing with another great player, and it takes experience. Next year, all we're hoping for is to come in and start with at least having a winning record, and I think everything else will take care of itself.
It seemed like Jimmy's thing is playing individual great defense and maybe taking the ball to the rack pretty well.
Yeah.
You have such a variety of offensive skills, but one of your greatest assets is your ability to distribute.
Yeah.
Are you cool with coming down the floor and hitting Jimmy repeatedly if he's hot?
I believe so. I think with our offense and with the Coach Fred, what he has going, he's kind of like an old school coach. If something is rolling or something is going for us, we're going to continue to go back to it.
To finish, you had about a 6-game winning streak in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Things were going well. It looked like things were on the complete upswing.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like the plug got pulled.
Yeah.
Did Coach do something or say something that made him less interesting to you guys, where it seemed like you tuned him out?
I really wouldn't say that we tuned him out. That would be so disrespectful. But I think that we was just in a bad period at that time. This is our first year. I know my first year going through this, so all this is a learning experience. And while we're going through it, we're trying to figure things out and learn at the same time. So it's been a tough year. You really can't blame anyone for it. It's just that we just had a bad year.
Well, I wish you a great summer. And I hope you clear your mind and come back just strong and do all the damage you wanted to do this year. Just push back a year.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Kim G. Sherman, psychotherapist, Des Plaines Wellness Center. Therapy for individuals, couples, families. Call 847-962-4849. I've known Kim for over 20 years. She is a true professional, and she will help you. Give her a call. Family Dentist, Lawrence Furlan, DDS, 109th and Kedzie, crowns, veneers, cleanings, improving your smile. They do a great job. Call 773-233-7044. Excellent work, impeccable. Call the Family Dentist, 773-233-7044. They did a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. You've got to get to Del Sur Mexican restaurant like I do at 46th and Halsted. Open for lunch and dinner daily. Shrimp, tilapia, and salmon. But steak, barbacoa, chicken dishes, a wide range of menu items. Del Sur Mexican restaurant. Easy to reach at 46th and Halsted. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. Tell them Pat Benkowski sent you to Del Sur Mexican restaurant. It's great. Snappers Seafood and Chicken comes to Chicagoland at 115th and Western. I have checked it out, and I'm telling you, tilapia, perch, catfish, shrimp, conch from the Florida Connection, crab, and then the alternatives, Philly steak and grilled food. Snappers has it all at 115th and Western. We're back on the spotlight, and an obviously happy Robin Ventura. Glad to talk to the press after winning 3 of 4 in Oakland, and looks a little fresher in the sense that he knows he has a better roster than he's had at any point in his White Sox managerial career. Options in the outfield, options in the infield, 2 solid veteran catchers, some fine arms that can start, a couple of guys in the minors who could fill in if needed, and a very solid bullpen. So it's there for the taking. and he's got to make some interesting moves, probably, trying to play the hot hand, which I bring up. But he's ready. And in the last year of a contract, everybody is primed for a run at the playoffs. Feels good coming home with 3 out of 4, isn't it?
It does. It does. I think even weather-wise, it is what it is. But guys are happy with starting out the way they did. I think it's a tough place to play, go out there and do that. So nice to come home. Guys are excited to be home and ready to go, even though it's a short one.
What you've seen now, what makes you more confident this year that you take the next step that you didn't take last year?
Well, I think you have veteran guys. I think they're comfortable in their own skin. They've been around a little bit to have different experiences and be on different teams. And I think talent level wise, it's just a different group. So they've seen what's out there and they understand it and they know how they can play.
They always say that spring training's just to get ready, but this year it seemed like your team was resolute from the beginning, and you guys were there from the beginning, expecting good ball, and it seemed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you want to do that. I think you focus on little things. When you bring in this many guys, you're not quite sure how it's going to go when they get there. But again, this group just seemed to hit it off right away. They continued all the way through the end of spring training, and it's carried over into the season. So I mean, in that part, I don't know if it's not an intentional thing. They just came and did it.
You have a lot of good players too.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're bringing in guys from different places with at different points in their career, and we have we run the gamut of Jimmy being where he's at. Had the career that he's had to Tyler Saladino that had his first opening day the other day. So we run it all the way up, but everybody's in here for the right reasons and feel like they're here at the right time for the right thing.
That could change your job a little bit, though, because whereas you were just putting out the best lineup you could in the past, now you have some selection, and you're going to be maybe.
I'm still going to put out the best.
Well, of course you are, but you're going to be. You got to find how to play the hot hand. Are you comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable with that. Again, you're talking about different guys, and they're very versatile. I think you're probably talking more of the versatility that's there, that guys can play different positions, and you can move them around. Nobody seems to be bothered by, if Lowry plays third base or second base, he doesn't care. So, Frage can go over to first base if I need him to. There's just different things you can do basically with the lineup that it makes it a little bit easier.
Robin, do you manage any different in a slot like this?
Yeah, I probably stay inside the dugout a little bit more, but there's not a whole lot you can do just because of the weather. They still have to go out and play, and I think what might happen is maybe Joe might challenge a little bit more on a throw from the outfield if the ball's wet, things like that. That's stuff that happens out there, but you can't necessarily do that from in here.
You guys talked so much this spring about getting off to a good start. I know it's just a few games, but to see them one-run games and being able to stay in it and that energy, what does that bring to the season?
Well, I think we know we're going to play some close games. I mean, everybody does, but to be able to come back, even the other night when they tie it up, you're able to still come back and get that one. And that's stuff that a team learns, and they learn it together. It's one thing for a guy to be in another team that it happens, but you have to be on that team at that moment for it to carry over, and they've been doing it even in the spring. It just seemed like if the other team scored, we came back and scored, and again, you're talking about a bit of a chemistry thing that seemed to be there from the first day of spring training.
What's the atmosphere like in the dugout? How engaged are these guys during games?
They're engaged. I think I don't know if you've met Brett Lowry, but he's kind of high-strung and energetic, so he gets everybody involved.
How does clubhouse chemistry make the difference between winning and losing?
It's tough. You have to win to be able to do it. But again, you're talking about guys that have been around a little bit, and I think they, there's different pieces that go with it. And this just seems to be a group that respects each other and enjoys being around each other, but they can also play. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's always hard to put your thumb on it exactly how it happens, where it happens, when it happens. But I think that was identified pretty early with these guys.
Robin, with everything said and
And we will have more of Robin Ventura next week, right here on The Spotlight. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Ulsan, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget, the Illinois Lottery too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. You've got to get to the Sock Live Bidkowski Trivia, alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great game, great people. Check out the Sock. I think you'll be glad you did when you go to my trivia game every other Thursday. 8 p.m., 93rd and Roberts Road. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Papa Joe's new location, 5900 West 111th Street. Italian beef, tetrazzini, great pizza, parmesan, ravioli, and more. All my classic choices. New location, and they can still deliver into the city. Get to Papa Joe's. We're back on the Spotlight, and we're wrapping up with the Bulls, of course, for the year. And it's a season that had so much potential. Even a number 7 seed in the playoffs. And I believe the Bulls could have knocked out Toronto, built a little momentum, and had a shot. But it wasn't to be. And so Coach Hoiberg was in a reflective mode. At least we dragged him that way in the time before playing the Cavs here this final week. And I was able to ask the questions that have been burning in my mind, and his answers are surprisingly thoughtful and frank. Not the tense Fred that we've seen so often earlier in the year. One that kind of resigned to his fate, and one who, of course, wants to be better next year, both himself and his club.
Hey, Fred, I know the defense was talked about the other night in detail by some guys. How can this team, if it is the same personnel or relatively the same personnel, how does the defense get better? How does it, I mean, do you have to change kind of the concept of it? Do guys just have to get tougher? I mean, how does the team do that?
I think the biggest thing is it's being consistent with it. We were a very good defensive team for the majority of the first part of the season. You look at where we were on January 1st, we were 3rd in the league in defensive efficiency, and then obviously it took a big turn. And just you got to be consistent with it. The effort obviously has to be there every time you step on the floor. We've had good stretches. You look at our game against Miami the other night. We had a great first half on the defensive end and came out and they set the tone in the third quarter and got confident. You just have to keep the pressure on and do the things that made you successful out there in the defensive end. But yeah, it's a commitment. Everybody's got to look at themselves. Starts with me, and we got to be better.
Between opening night and now, what's the biggest lesson you've learned about NBA coaching?
Oh God, it seems like 100 years ago. That first time we played, stepped on the floor with Cleveland. It's the biggest thing. Obviously we've all learned a lot this year. I think the biggest thing, looking back on this season, is we had a very favorable December schedule, and we finished that month 8-7 when we had a lot of home games, a lot of winnable home games. And that's costing us now. Those early games may not seem like much at the time, but you look where we are now. There's such a thin margin for error. because we didn't take care of business with some teams that we absolutely should have beat, had teams down. The killer mentality that you have to have in this league to keep teams down when you have them down and not let them get their confidence and get back into the game. We give up 2 16-point leads in the fourth quarter, one against Denver and one against Phoenix in this building, and that can't happen. So those are a lot of the things going into next year. You have to make sure you have that killer instinct. When you get a team down, you got to keep them down, and we have to be more consistent.
Fred, speaking of defense, how much has Joakim been missed in that aspect, and also his voice on a consistent basis in the locker room?
Well, sure. I mean, you look at our numbers and where they were and the defensive efficiency when Joe was on the floor. They're very good, and there's no doubt about that. In the 40 games Joe's missed, we've also had Jimmy and Nico out for a pretty substantial part of that, and then Etuan and Derek and Taj and Pau and some other guys that have been in and out of the lineup. But again, it's something you can't use as an excuse. The next guy's got to be ready to go and step into the place in their place and hopefully not give anything up. But do we miss Joe? Absolutely. He's an emotional leader for us out there. And he's definitely been missed.
Fred, when you reflect on this season, would you do anything differently that you know now that you could have done?
Well, yeah. I mean, you always look back and hindsight's 20/20 on some of the things that we should have done. We actually, even though we were 8-7, we still found a way to have a 22-12 record. And 10 games over 500. We were doing some really good things early on in the season. And then again, we lost that defensive intensity that we had that made us a good team that allowed us to grind out some ugly wins early on in the season. And once it it started turning, it continued to get worse. So it's just the constant. Battle and grind on, the delicate balance of getting the guys in and resting them and that kind of thing. Sure, you learn a lot about that stuff.
So just seeing if you've already addressed this previous days, but right now, what's going on? Is there still hope that you guys can pull off something here, or you just take it game by game at this point?
And that's all we can do right now is take it game by game. We need help. Indiana's got a favorable schedule with their 3 games, 2 at home. Against teams that are sitting some guys right now, and then their last one at Milwaukee. So, hey, we got to go out and try to control what we can, and that's to go out and play hard. And with a great effort tonight, try to give ourselves a chance to win.
Fred, nobody saw this. You've got to get the Jacks. 33-25, Ridge Road in Lansing. Trivia every Tuesday at 7 p.m. A very intense, competitive game. Any of half a dozen teams can win. Let me tell you about Oliver's. 6100 West 159th Street, midway between Cicero and Harlem. They got live trivia. I'll be there Thursday, April 14th at 7 p.m. Great fun, great food, great drink at Oliver's. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. Trivia will be at the Sock. Alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great food, great drink, great people. Everything great. Let me tell you about Del Sur Mexican Restaurant. They're open for lunch and dinner daily at 46th and Halsted. Shrimp, tilapia, salmon. They have steak. They have chicken dishes. A wide-ranging menu. Del Sur at 46th and Halsted. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music, interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place. We're back on the spotlight, and I'm always intrigued about stories, players you never heard of, and suddenly they're on your team. And a guy who made the best, impression-wise, if not statistically, to the management team and Robin Ventura, was this man, Jerry Sands. Through his hustle and clutch play and fundamental soundness and just showing some intangibles, made Robin bring him up as one of the 25. The 25th, but still in the 25. And he talks about his career, some of his minor league stops, which have been many, and getting here and certainly wanting to stay here.
Yeah, I played football and baseball in high school. I wasn't sure which one I was going to go to college. I just kind of decided baseball was a better career path, and health-wise is kind of what I wanted to do. So wasn't a big prospect out of high school. Went Division II in college, and played pretty well 3 years of college, and then obviously start getting the letters and people talking to you and scouts and stuff. So that's when you realize you actually have a chance. But I mean, you never really want to look ahead. You just kind of want to stay in the moment. And if I only played 3 or 4 years of college, and that was all I was going to play, and I was going to make the most of them. So obviously blessed with the opportunity to be here. But it was fun growing up, and I enjoyed playing all my life.
Talk about a couple of your minor league stops, maybe unique places that people haven't heard of, or you could shed some light on places they have heard of.
All right. I've been around quite a few places. Started in the Gulf Coast League with the Dodgers down in Vero Beach, Florida. I mean, obviously, the history there with the Dodgers being there for years and years. Went to Ogden, Utah. Went to Midland, Michigan. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
And that was in the Dodger organization?
That's just in the Dodger organization. And then, obviously, I was up at L.A. for a little bit, and then I moved to the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. I was in Indianapolis. I went to the Tampa Bay Rays organization, where I was in Durham, North Carolina, and Tampa Bay. I was with the Cleveland organization last year, where I was in Columbus and Cleveland, and then, obviously, this year here in Chicago. So I've been around, seen a lot of good places, and obviously, it's fun being able to use this kind of a game to be able to kind of see the world.
As an Indians player, you observed the White Sox, played against them. Who were the players that stuck out to you, and now you're enjoying meeting them and being their teammate?
We've got a lot of new faces this year, so I mean that's obviously fun. I've watched Todd Frazier play for a long time. Obviously, Abreu's come on the scene the last couple of years and been one of the best hitters, if not one of the best hitter in the game. And then. I'm glad to be over here, as I don't have to face Sale and and Rodon and those guys anymore, because that's kind of my thing, is I would have to come in and face the lefties. So getting those studs on your side is kind of what you want to do. So like I said, you got everybody. You got guys, Nate Jones coming out of the bullpen throwing 98 and 100, and you get to play with guys now like Jimmy Rollins, who's been around forever, and just trying to learn and soak up as much as you can. It's been fun this year.
Yeah, it's just like a giant learning experience.
Yeah.
You go around and ask one question of each guy, and you've compiled a lot.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Even Jimmy, who's been around for quite a while, I think he'll tell you learn something every day. So just try and suck up what you can, and like I said, just keep learning.
Make the most of that late inning opportunity when it comes your way.
Absolutely, don't miss it. Yeah.
If you're pinch running?
I don't know about pinch running. Maybe in a tight squeeze, but I'll probably be the last guy off the bench to do that.
It could be an 18-inning game,
yeah,
right?
Well, you'll never know. Maybe in that situation, maybe. So I might run for if Latos gets on base or something. I might run for him. But other than that,
I was going to say,
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Go for the plate and sweep it with the hand.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Okay, we'll be looking for you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This week's show is brought to you by the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Shop at 108th and Kedzie. Get all your car work done there, like me. The Lansing Floral Shop is the place to go for all your floral needs. Call 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 100. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing, 708-396-1010.